A blessed good day mga ka-newbie. I'm Noel de la Sena and welcome again to my YouTube channel. In today's video tutorial, I will share to you my video lesson in Computer Programming Module 3, specifically in .NET Programming. The Module 1 and Module 2 video lesson was already released. I'll put the link in the description box for you to be able to catch up the lesson. But before we start, if you are new here in my YouTube channel or not yet subscribed, please don't forget to like, share, subscribe, and hit the bell button icon for updated weekly educational video tutorial. Now, let's start. Computer Programming Module 3, HTML5A documents. At the end of this module, the learners will understand the following. First, understand the importance of background color and image of an HTML document. Second, differentiate the functions of the common tags like paragraph tag, line breaks, and pre-tag. And the last is how to use the different tags, same with the background color or image, to create a simple web page. HTML5A documents. In making a website, it is important to set a good impression to your visitors. In case, it is vital to have a good background because it determines whether your visitor will keep on browsing or close the window. A good background sets a tone of your websites. It should grab the attention of your audience to keep their interest and find out more about your website. It's also important that your content should match your background, like the text placement or the line spaces of your text. We are going to talk all about this in this lesson. Let's start with the HTML paragraphs. HTML paragraphs is also known as the P tag or paragraph tag. Paragraph tag defines a paragraph of text. It is a block level elements and always start on the new line. The P tag comes in pairs. The content is written between the opening tag and the closing paragraph tag. Here is the example of the HTML paragraph tag. And this is the result of the example coded HTML using paragraph tag that you seen in the previous slide. Next, let's talk about HTML headings. The HTML headings are defined with the H1 to H6 tag. H1 defines the most important heading and H6 defines the least important headings. And here is the example code of the heading tag. So we have the heading 1, heading 2, heading 3, heading 4, heading 5, and heading 6. And that HTML tag was the H1, H2, H3, H4, H5, and H6. And now this is the example or result of the example coded HTML using the heading tag that you seen in the previous slide. Now let's talk about the horizontal rule or the what we call the HR tag. The HR tag defines the thematic break in an HTML page and is the most often displayed as the horizontal rule. The HR element is used to separate content or define a change in an HTML page. And this is the example of the HTML code using the H or horizontal rule tag. And this is the result of the example coded HTML using the horizontal rule tag. Now let's talk about the line breaks. Line breaks is also known as the BR tags. It is an example of an empty element that does not have an end tag. BR tag is used to insert a single line break, not to add space between paragraphs. It is useful when you're writing a poem or an address, where the division of the lines is important. This is the example of HTML code using the line break tags. And this is the result of an example coded HTML files or HTML using line break tag that you've seen in the previous slide. Now let's talk about the pre-tag. The pre-tag defines pre-formatted text. The text in the pre-element is displayed in a fixed width font, and the text preserves both spaces and line breaks. The text will be displayed exactly as written in the HTML source code. This is the example of the HTML code using the pre-tag. And this is the result of the example coded HTML using the pre-tag that you seen in the previous slide. Next, let's talk about the HTML background. HTML background by default, the web page background is white in color, but you can always change it in your desire, whether you want colored or an image background. HTML background with color, using background attribute, it can control your background color. The background or the BG color attribute defines the background color for an HTML element. In the sample, in the next slide, the background color is powder blue. And this is the example HTML code using the background attribute. And of course, and this is the result of example coded HTML using background attribute that you see in the previous slide. Next is the background or HTML background with image. To add a background image on the HTML element, use the HTML attribute. To add the background image on the web page, specify the background image attribute on the body element. Take note, your image should be in high definition so that it won't get pixelated when it gets stretched out. In this presentation, I will use this image as my background image design. Sample background.jpg. And this is the example HTML code using background image element. And And this is the result of example coded HTML using background image element that you seen in the previous slide. This module mainly discusses on how to create a simple HTML document. You learn different kinds of HTML elements that usually used in making a web page. Thank you very much for listening and watching this video lesson. If you like this video, click the subscribe and hit the bell button icon for weekly educational video tutorial. That's it mga ka-newbie. Sana meron na naman akong naibahagi sa inyo na bagong kaalaman, at para sa mga susunod na video tutorial, mag-subscribe to this channel and click the bell button icon para sa mga updated video tutorial. If you have any comment, suggestion, don't hesitate to comment below. See you mga ka-newbie, hanggang sa muli. God bless and stay safe.